Hi everyone, welcome back to the F.I.G.H.T channel. It's your girl Allison. Today is the day. Today is the day that I talk about my testimony. And I wanted to come outside where I'm surrounded around nature. Usually when you guys see me, I'm always in my room. Usually when you guys see me, I'm always talking in my room. But today I wanted to do a different setting. And it's ironic because my testimony, I feel like it can reach a lot of people. I feel like my testimony can help a lot of bitter people out there. And when I say bitter people, I promise you that word, bitter, is going to be so important for when I talk about my testimony. So, let me stop messing around and, excuse me, I'm trying to get all comfy. Excuse me. Let me stop messing around and let me finally tell you my testimony. When I was a little girl, I used to live with my real dad and my stepmom. And in a minute, I'm going to tell you why I say real dad and stepmom. So when I was living with them, my real dad, he was more strict. He gave me more discipline. And, you know, it gave me structure for a moment. But then when I started to live with my mom and my stepdad, it was kind of different. It's like I was having candy every day. Not saying that they did give me candy every day, but it was the fact that that household was so different from my real dad that all I wanted to do was to live with my mom and my stepdad. So it came to a moment where my mom, she will always say, if anyone always mistreating you over there, let me know. If anyone always says anything, let me know. So me being a child, I told my mom, hey mom, sometimes when I don't always eat my food, or sometimes when I get in trouble at school, I get whoopings from my from my stepmom. And my mom, I guess she took that way out of context, saying, okay, you're going to come to live with me. Now, my family, my mom, my dad, they probably could say something different. But for me, that's the only thing that I feel that God has revealed to me. Things that I have talked to him about. And that's what he has told me. So, as I'm going to go live with my stepdad and my mom, things begin to be different. And what I mean by that is that I did not know what door I was being opened up to until I was there. So, like I said, doors begin to open for me that I did not know that were going to be opened. And what I mean by that is mental abuse. My mom, she used to leave me a lot when I was younger. And I remember one time my mom left me somewhere where I had to ask other people, can I call my stepdad? Because at the time, they kept wanting me to forget about my real dad number and everything like that. So my mind has been forcefully implanted to have my stepdad and my real mom's number into my head. So I remember my stepdad's number really good. And then that's what I went to go do. I called, that's what I did. And then I called my stepdad and I was like, hey, can you come get me? And he did. During that time, it did open up a lot of questions to the police and everything, but I didn't want my dad, not my dad, I'm sorry. I did not want my mom to get in trouble. So what I did was that I kind of lied at the time. You know, I was saying, yeah, my mom's fine, everything's okay, and everything was okay to the police aspect. So they stopped, trying to look into it. And as I got older, Throughout all my young years, all I remember is my mom leaving, coming back, leaving, coming back. And when I was younger, I did not know until I got older what was going on. I was thinking, am I the problem? I was thinking, did I do something? Why was my mom leaving me? Excuse me. Why was my mom leaving me? What did I ever do to her for her to leave me? What did I ever do to her to make her forget about me? Because there was one time I remember so good that this has literally traumatized me. So one day, my stepdad was going to go take a shower, and I was going to go take a shower, because my mom, she was like, how about you guys go take a shower? So he went to go take a shower, I went to go take a shower, but right before I went into the shower, I heard a door close. Something was telling me, no, go take a shower, and then another part of me was like, no, go see what it was. So I went to go check to see what it was, and I was calling my mom's name. I was like, Mom, no answer. I went to the kitchen, no answer. I went to the family room, living room, no answer. So then I went into my dad's room and I knocked on the bathroom door, and I was like, Dad, I think Mom left. And he was like, what? Because he couldn't hear me. He had the shower running on. So so I said, I think Mom left. I said it a little louder, and I remember my voice kind of cracked, because I was saying it louder, but the realization that the words were coming out of my mouth my mom left, and I can't remember if this was the beginning of her leaving me or in the middle. I can't really remember, but I just know I remember this story. So he was just like, he was like, okay, go see if she outside and go get her. And I was like, okay. So I opened the front door, and then I see her walking down the driveway, because our driveway is like a hill. So I see her walking down. So I run down there, and when I'm up to her, she's like 2 or 3 feet in front of me, I guess you could say. So I'm just like, Mommy, Mommy. And then she doesn't say anything. So I run up to her and I grab her arm, and she yanks from me. And then I'm calling her name. I'm like, Mommy, Mommy. And I'm just like, Mommy, Mom, and she's not answering for me. And then that's when realization hit me, just stop. Just stop. And I did. So I stopped trying to call her name in that moment, and I just saw her walking. When I came back into the house, I just busted out crying to my stepdad, because I couldn't understand why was my mother leaving me. And then over time, my stepdad, he just sat me down. He told me that your mother leaves due to the past that she has happened to her, due to the mental and sexual abuse happened to her when she was a child. And because of the abuse she had when she was a child, she carried that with me. And that's when I'm saying that those doors were being opened. And as that progressed over time, she stopped doing, the drug abuse and everything, because that's also why she kept leaving, because of the drugs. And she didn't want to do the drugs in front of me, so she would leave. And when she would come back, it would be so much resentment towards my mother, to the point where it would say I loved her, but in my heart I didn't love her. I loved that she was safe. I loved that she was here in my presence, but deep down I hated my mom for what she did to me. You know what I'm saying? And by the grace of God, I'm so happy that she took me to church through all those years of me being younger. And she took me to church, and I remember one thought I had one time when I was being introduced to God and saying my prayers and everything like that. I remember one thought I had. It was when my mom left. I was in my room laying down on my bed, and I said, God, if you are so good, why do you keep letting my mom leave? Why does this keep happening to me? At the time, I didn't realize nothing about the Holy Spirit. I didn't know nothing about why things happen. You know what I'm saying? So it made me kind of not be resented towards God, but in a way, it's like I didn't want to find an answer in God. Like, I didn't think there was. I didn't know that there could be an answer in God. So it led me down a road of sexual immorality. Incest started to happen. And I didn't know it was wrong, but, you know, it happened. And then as I got older, still sexual immorality. In high school, it was like sexual immorality that came from here, from middle school to here, on a whole nother level. As soon as I came into 9th grade, I was already trying to find this love, this type of perverted way of love through guys, through boys. Because my mom, she's not giving me that. So I'm thinking I can find that through guys, through sexual pleasure. And, excuse me. And as I got more in the mindset of thinking like sex can help me fulfill what I'm hurting in here, I just kept doing it with a lot of people, different people. And that became my go-to. I never really was interested, like, when I was back in the world, I was never really interested in alcohol. Weed was very prominent, kind of, in certain moments of my life, but not all the way. And when I was in high school, I remember when I was just doing so many things that I thought was helping me, not respecting the body. And I remember something that my stepbrother told me. He said, having sex before marriage is not worth it. I've done it, so don't do it. I think it was like literally right before I came to high school. But me wanting to do my own thing, I said, in my mind, I'm at that moment in my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to have sex before marriage. But the enemy, he knows how to plant seeds. He knows how to plant seeds. And back in my school, in high school, boys at my school would be like, oh, if you really want this, you'll be about it. You'll be about it. You'll do it. You'll just do it. And me being me, I found that very intriguing, wanting to show these guys that I can do these sexual immorality things, sexual things that can glorify my body to their liking. But it didn't. And though at the time I did not realize that I was exhausted in my sin, that it was not glorifying me, I still kept going back to it. But even though I'm trying to get a different man, different types of men, and yet nothing is fulfilling me. At the time in high school, I even got awakened to depression, suicidal thoughts, suicidal attempts, just from a relationship in high school that did not help me, that did not do anything for me, but yet I still kept running back to that. More bitterness coming inside of me. So that happened in high school. As I came to college, me and my mother, we're still having okay relationship, but what she did to me still hurts, still bitterness inside of me. So I came to college and I met this guy, and we dated for 2 years. When I met him, if I'm being honest with you, I idolized him. I put him first before anything. I bought him stuff. I bought him expensive stuff. I gave him food. I would clean for him. I would want sex from him. Like, I was the one who opened sexual immorality to him. You know what's crazy? The Lord always trying to find ways to come and grab you. He was a Christian too. And I opened so many doors to him that in a way, I didn't care. I was selfish. I wanted what I wanted, even though the sexual immorality stuff was also helping him too. But at the end of the day, I was only doing what I wanted. I was in a way trying to manipulate him, trying to seduce him into doing whatever that I wanted, but also in a way still idolizing him. And I hope this makes sense. So, as I'm in a relationship with this guy for 2 years straight, I'm thinking he's everything I wanted, because based off high school, I've only had guys that told me that I'm not this, that I'm ugly, that people only want you for this, and that I'm only good for sex. So I'm thinking, okay, if this is only what I'm good at, then this is the only thing that I will, this is the only thing that I will always do, you know. But when I came into this 2-year relationship in college, I said I wanted to bring more than just sex to the table. I want to show that this guy that I'm with, that I'm more than just sex. And at the time, I did that. But it didn't really work out, because how I started out the relationship was through sexual immorality. And I hope you all know that sharing your testimony is never easy, and I'm being truthfully honest with you all. And I know there might be family members, friends who might watch this video, but just know what I'm saying is not to hurt you. What I'm saying is not to put down your name, because if I'm being honest with you, it's not even about me or you, it's about Jesus and what he did for my heart. And I'm gonna be honest with you, nobody else saved me but Jesus. Nobody knew what was in my heart but Jesus. So, back to the story. This relationship that I was in college, I thought it was just all that I needed. But then in the end, it didn't come to what I needed. Because when I was with him, I kept going to him. I kept asking him for answers, for questions, because when things were going on at home, when things were so overwhelming at home with my mom and both of my dads, I was just like, hey, I need you. I need an outlet. And he was my outlet for everything. But then we started to break. We broke up. And when we broke up, the devil tried so hard to make me not to forgive him. So as this is going on, we broke up literally like last year around my birthday. And that's basically kind of in like, I guess you could say the fall. So when we broke up, I did have depression again. I felt like I was at the low because the one person that I needed, the one person that I wanted, I could not confine in that person. I could not go to that person. It means I have to deal with all this bitterness, all this hatred, all this resentment that I have towards my mom on my own. So that's what I began to do. Well, I just began to become isolated. I did have friends at the time that were helping me, but it wasn't enough. Having conversation with my parents, with family members, with my friends, it was never enough. Nobody could not talk enough to me in order for me to open up. Because my stepdad, one thing I say that I love that he always did, he always said out to never hide your emotions, never. Always say how you feel, always, always, always. And sometimes I would with family members and friends, but sometimes I won't. I would just say, I don't want to deal my problems on nobody else, because they probably already have their own problems to live with. And that's how I always thought. And through all my years of living, when my mom left, it always put doubt in me, because I always thought I was the problem. And ever since my mom has left, came back and left, because she would say, oh, Allison, we're going to go to the mall. We're going to go have so much fun the next day. But then the next morning I wake up, she is gone. Gone. And that put doubt in me. So, beginning of this year, around March, I didn't realize I was looking or needing something until I found Jesus again. See, I knew of Jesus. I knew he died for my sins. I knew that he went up on the cross. But when you're a child, you're only doing what your parents are telling you. You're only going to church because they're telling you to go to church. And every time I went to church when I was little, every single time I heard gospel music, I hated it. I could not understand this being. So I guess you could say I was resenting towards God too. So as I'm going through this process of being single, I'm going back to sexual desire, sexual immorality. But then I'm starting to realize that's not helping me either. So then what I do next, I find Jesus. But when I found Jesus, it's not like in a church, getting baptized. It's nothing like that. How I found Jesus was literally on my phone. I saw this video. It was an animated video. And it was like something like, Jesus, Jesus, I finally met you. Or it was like something like, Jesus, I finally am with you. And this one sentence that spoke out to me in this video was, depart from me from which I never knew you. And it was like the moment I heard those words, the moment those words went across the screen, it was like fear just shook in me. The annoying fear of something so much greater. That I thought I knew Jesus just because my mom took me to church. Just because I thought I knew Jesus because I knew he died for my sins. I thought that was enough to know about Jesus. But no, it wasn't. So the moment I saw that video, the moment I saw those words come across the screen, it put a spark in me to read the Bible. And that's what I did. I read the Bible. And only about a few weeks later, God asked me one question. One simple question. He asked me twice. The first time he said, I'm going to play it out, guys. Okay, I'm going to act it out. This is exactly what happened. I'm scrolling. He asked me, do you forgive her? He didn't even have to say who. He didn't have to say nobody. He didn't have to say nobody's name. But I knew exactly who he was talking about. I'm over here like, yeah, I forgive her in my head. You know, talking to God in my head. I didn't realize I was talking to God, though, at the moment. So, I'm saying, oh, yeah, I forgive her. And then there was a silence for a little bit, right? Then that's when he asked me again, do you forgive her? And it was the most loudest, authoritative, but most gentle voice ever. And I know that did not make sense. But I promise you, the Lord spoke so much volume into me that it shook my soul. When he said it the last time, I screamed out and I said, yes, I forgive her. I forgive her. And when I said that, tears were flowing down my face. Literally just tears just flowing out of me because I finally forgive my mom. And it wasn't from my mom telling me forgiveness. It wasn't from my dad. Because even throughout my years of being in high school, my mom has said, Allison, I'm sorry for what I did to you. I'm sorry. And I've told her, yeah, I forgive you. But in the back of my mind, I still resented her. I still hated the thing that she did to me. I still hated how she planned my life out to be. But when Jesus found me, he asked me one question. And it took me a minute. But I said, yes, I forgive her. And the moment I said, yes, I forgive her, that's when things changed. The first person I told, my stepdad, I said, Dad, I just caught the Holy Ghost Spirit. He said, you did? That's great, Allison. I said, I know. Then I texted my mom. I texted her the most longest paragraph of forgiveness. It's still on my phone to this day. And I told her, Mom, I forgive you. I just caught the Holy Ghost Spirit. I forgive you for everything you did to me. I forgive you for your past. I forgive you for it all. And ever since that day, it's been a battle between going back to the world and following Jesus. And like I said before, bitterness is what started it all. Bitterness is what made me not want to forgive my mom, because I was so stubborn to forgive my mom. Yet Jesus gave me the grace and the will to help me forgive her by only asking me one simple question. And I know that if Jesus can help me, someone who did not even like going to church, someone who did not even like hearing gospel music, someone who hated their mom on the low, someone who pretended to be happy on the outside, if he can change me, I know there's somebody out there that he can change too. Because the Lord has been telling me heavily, Allison, tell your testimony. Tell your testimony. Stop putting it on the back burner. Tell your testimony. And that's what I'm doing. And I'm telling you because I want to glorify God's kingdom. Because I want people to repent and to know that Jesus can save you. He can help you with anything. If he could part the seas for Moses, if he can give Solomon wisdom, if he can help all these people in the Bible, and even people now to the modern day, if he can help so many people, I promise you, nothing is too big or too small for him. He can save you. Because the blood of him, of what he did on that cross, is so powerful. So knowingly, just so great. That all it will be, just Jesus flowing through you. So if you are someone out there, I'm going to say it again, if you are someone out there who was going through trying to forgive somebody, truly open your heart to God. Truly tell him, Lord, I want to be with you, and I want to forgive this person. And I don't know if you all remember, like I said earlier, when I was in a relationship, the devil was trying so hard for not letting me forgive my ex for what he did. Basically, he cheated on me. And when I forgave my mom, that, excuse me, it was strong. But a few weeks later, after I forgave my mom, my ex and I were talking again, and I said, I got saved by Jesus, and he was saying that's good, and I was telling him that you need to get saved too if you're not, and everything like that, trying to spread the gospel a little bit. And he was saying, yeah, I know about Jesus and everything like that, and trying to get him to go back onto that pathway. And I told him, and I was saying that maybe we should meet up and have a Bible study like that. And he was telling me, Allison, I do not want to meet up with you until I tell you the truth. And that is that I did cheat on you. And the moment he said that, the moment I saw that text message, that was the moment I realized that I loved this boy more than my mom. That's the moment when the Lord was hitting at me that you had loved this boy more than your mom. The woman that birthed you, the woman who gave you life. And that is why I told you. That's why I asked you, do you forgive your mom? That is why I asked you that, Allison. And the enemy, he was trying so hard, putting thoughts into my head saying, no, you shouldn't forgive him. You shouldn't do this and that. Because guess what? He still cheated on you. He did that. He did this. After you did all of this, after you gave him all, after you showed him how to love. You did all this for this guy. Yeah, I did all that for him, but yet through the process of that, I couldn't love myself because I was so bitter towards my mom. So it was one Bible verse that kept hitting at me, and that was, if you cannot forgive somebody, then the Lord will not forgive you. And I said, okay. Then I have no choice because I want the Lord to forgive me. After I know his presence, after I found out that there is a higher creator out there, I said, all right, I'm going to forgive him. And I kept praying and praying. And then eventually I did forgive him. And not gonna lie, like I said, forgiving him was hard, but it was worth it. And like I said, I never knew how bitter I was until God showed me. I never knew how bitter I was until God opened my eyes. So everyone, I hope this video helped you all. I hope this video showed you all that there's more to life than what's in this world. And that is Jesus. So if he can turn me around, I know he can turn you around. So I thank you all for watching this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, do it all. Hit the little bell, you know what I mean? No, okay. But thank you all for watching, and always come back to the F.I.G.H.T channel. Stay blessed and stay safe. Bye.